So guys, quickly, can we just do a quick round of intros, who you are, which brands you're talking about?
Hi, I'm Hannah Spicer. I've worked with Mention Me at a couple of different brands, so Monica Vinader, which is a jewellery brand, and Kurt Geiger as well. And I now freelance, so I consult with a number of fashion and luxury brands on their e-commerce and digital marketing. So I'm introducing them to lots of other brands too.
So I'm Carl Turner. I'm a Client Success Manager here at Mention Me, and I'll be talking about Animal Friends Pet Insurance today.
So I'm Rebecca. I've worked in digital marketing for about 10 years. I currently work at GLL. We're a social enterprise, but you'll probably know us better for better leisure centres. So we run a load of local leisure centres, children's centres and libraries around the country. We'll be talking about how we've been working with Mention Me today.
Cool. Hello everyone, I'm Ed, I'm the head of engineering at Mention Me. I run the team that looks after the tech platform that underpins the Mention Me product.
Excellent, thank you guys. So firstly, this is more for Bex and Hannah really, more than anyone else. What led you to decide to start referral marketing in the first place?
So I think at Monica Vinader, a key challenge for us was driving brand awareness and also customer acquisition. And I think referral made complete sense because we knew that we'd get a customer database that was actually going to convert rather than a mass audience. So it really helped get the word out, I think, as well, because it is a brand that had a really high level of customer service. People were really happy to talk about us and recommend us, so it was a really good channel for us.
I think for us, well, we've always done referrer or refer a friend, but there needs to be an understanding that we're a massive enterprise, so we have leisure centres all over the country, and different leisure centres were doing different things. Some people were just referring a friend on pieces of paper, and we never really knew what the impact of it was. So by digitising it, we A, get quality leads, and B, we're able to actually measure the impact of referral, which I think is a great thing to be able to take back to the business and say it's worth us pursuing. So that's why we went with Mention Me.
And how long have you been doing it for, Bex?
Since the end of February.
Okay.
So we launched in England by the end of February, and we've just launched in Belfast. And the reason why we launched in Belfast in October was because we had to set up a different account for it, because it's quite a complex business, GLL, but Belfast basically needs to be a different colour, because our colour is green, and for political reasons we had to launch it in blue, so it took us that amount of time. It's a true story. Lots of things you learn. I come from Arcadia, so I'm sort of used to working in retail, and I moved to GLL about 14 months ago, and it's been a complete, eye-opener. But it's good fun.
Potentially some insight you weren't expecting this morning, but anyway, useful all the same. And Hannah, I know we're talking about a couple of different brands here, but they are all still clients. How long have they been doing?
Yeah, so Monica Vinader was years and years ago, pre-Lizzie days even, which
Wow.
we don't like to talk about, obviously.
Yeah.
But so it must be about 6 years ago, and then Kurt Geiger probably about 2.5 years it's been running now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. And so in terms of how it fits into your marketing plan, Bex, can you just talk to that a little bit?
Well, at the moment we're currently only running it on acquisition, so it's point of purchase. And it's actually proven to be really, really successful for us. So I'm constantly looking at month on month to share with our senior leadership team and saying, guys, we've got a 14% share rate, but 47% purchase rate. So it's really valuable for us to be able to continue doing it and push it forwards.
Great. Okay.
So we're looking to move it into retention, but we do work with legacy systems, which makes it more difficult.
Yeah, Ed can relate to that, I'm sure. Cool, okay, so you make the decision to start referral marketing and work with Mention Me. Obviously the first thing we need to do is actually onboard and get your program live. So what was that process like? How long did it take? What were the Mention Me team like in terms of support? Start with you.
Yeah, we found it really pain-free actually in terms of integration. So the design work is all kind of done for you. So you'll give your, the imagery you want to launch with, your brand fonts. If you've got a tone of voice document, you can share that. And essentially the team will come back and say, well, this is what we've mocked up. Have you got any tweaks? And you can get your graphic design team to review it. But really it's kind of hands off at that stage. The dev work, although our internal team at Kurt Geiger were obviously convinced it was going to be a very big piece of dev work. It wasn't, and we actually just got on a call with some of the tech team at Mention Me, and it was resolved and got up and running really quickly. So yeah, it was very pain-free, which was good.
Great. And Bex, how about for GLL?
It was actually easier than we thought because, as I say, we do work with several different platforms, and it's being able to put it on the right platform and get the developer who's working on that platform to implement it. We were also a very lean digital marketing team, so the support that Mention Me gave us was invaluable to be able to actually put everything together, get it signed off and get it launched. So I think it took us probably only about a month from start to finish. And yeah, it was great, a lot easier than we thought.
Good to hear. And Ed, do you want to just talk to the way that we approach onboarding from a Mention Me perspective?
Yeah, I'm very glad you both said that. So I guess fundamentally, like, it's highly in our interests, of course, to get you onto the Mention Me platform. It's no good if you're stuck in onboarding. And so we spend a lot of time, both within the engineering team, but also within the client success teams and the onboarding teams, on doing work to make sure that the integration process is as easy as possible. We have done it for big companies, for small companies. We've done it hundreds of times, and so I'd like to think, and it's good that everyone agrees, that we're getting pretty good at it. I'd be more than happy to chat with anyone around like how like a specific integration would work as well, if you've got like a particularly complicated stuff. But we try as hard as we can to make it as easy and pain-free as possible.
Right, thanks, Ed. So obviously a huge part of your referral program is what you're going to offer and the incentives that you kind of put out to your customers. And Lizzie obviously did a great presentation earlier today when she was saying it's not the most important thing. Fundamentally, your customers want to refer you, and they're only going to do it to people it's relevant for. But that A/B testing around the offer is obviously something that's crucial. So Bex, you've tried free membership for a month, gift cards, discounts.
So we're quite limited in what we can offer because we're a social enterprise. So all the profits we make go back into facilities, go towards GLL Sports Foundation to fund future athletes, and lots of different areas. So we could only really offer certain things. So we're currently running A/B testing a £25 better gift card versus a free a competition to win an annual membership every month you join. It sounds quite complicated, but really it's not. Yeah, and that's working quite well. So the £25 gift card is winning, but we're constantly looking at new ways that we can reinvigorate that. And for new members, they get £15 off. So your friend that you're referring gets £15 off.
Got it. And that's a test that's still running now?
Yeah, it's a test that's still running now.
Awesome.
And we're trying to look at a different test, potentially for Black Friday. We're going to switch it on its head and say for every member, you'll still get the £25 gift card and the chance to win a free annual membership, but we will donate £5 towards GLL Sports Foundation. We're just trying to get the numbers, so we're almost like saying that we're giving back for every time you purchase as well.
Awesome.
Which fits with our brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Hannah, what about Kurt Geiger?
Yeah, so we launched with a 15% off versus £15 off a minimum spend, and we kind of made sure that 15% off was a better offer than our welcome offer. And we found that 15% off was stronger for us. I know from being at these events before that it is different for every client. It's not always easy to predict what's going to come out of the test, and a lot of our retail team thought it would be the money. So I think that's the whole point of the A/B split testing, is to get as many options as you can together and see what works the most. So
great.
Yeah.
And Carl, you're in a unique position on this panel where you can talk to what Animal Friends have been doing, but obviously as a CSM you can talk to, we've been doing a lot of testing around the new customer journey and the design. So do you mind just talking to that a little bit?
Sure. So Mention Me have just released a new customer journey. There's a number of different improvements in there. One of the main things is around optimizing the mobile and the desktop journey for the customers. And so we've been testing with Animal Friends the impact of some of those different optimizations and working out which parts work for their customers, which parts don't. We've also been testing different designs and different branding and different colours as well, with some pretty interesting results. So having a black background with white text on it compared to a white background with black text on it, and how that actually impacted the share rate. So it was pretty surprising, to me at least, that the black background with the white text on was the winner.
And that's a wonderful, talking about the share rate is a really nice segue into metrics and data. From that perspective, Bex, what metrics are you using to track the referral channel at GLL? How are you kind of measuring success?
We are looking at share rate and purchase rate. We also look sometimes at AOV because we're a service with subscription-based model. Essentially, the first purchase is not necessarily the full amount that the customer's buying. I think we're currently on a lifetime value of about 12 months. So we're looking at that and seeing what that's worth. But going forwards, I think we may start to look at actually what referral is worth to the business, looking at lifetime value as well.
And Carl, again, as a CSM, obviously this is something you're analysing every day and you're talking to your clients about all the time. So can you just talk to our approach to analysing that data and using it in the right way?
Exactly. There's a huge array of data available within our platform, available to clients and also us as CSMs. So the way that it kind of works for me is that I have a regular meeting with each of my clients and we talk through the metrics which are important to them. So it could be AOV, it could be number of new customers, it could be a whole host of things. And so we use that data in something like an executive business review as well to help plan our roadmaps for future testing, work out how we're going to promote and basically how we're going to optimize the scheme for them.
Mm-hmm. Great. So in the next session, Simon, our head of client success, so he's going to be doing some talking around the best place to ask for a referral, and obviously the promotion points themselves are crucial to the success of the program. So Bex, where are you promoting the referral offer now for GLL?
Currently it's only on point of purchase,
Mm-hmm.
but once we're able to get the right data across to mention me for our full membership, we want to stick it on the homepage and see what that does, because I think that would do an amazing job.
Yeah, so at Kurt Geiger, the order confirmation page was key, and we also put banners in the order confirmation email and the order dispatch email. And at Shoeaholics, which is a sub-brand of Kurt Geiger, it's their outlet site, we didn't have as much of a battle to get the real estate on the website, so we pushed it on the homepage, internal ads, and we did a solus email, and the results from pushing it across all those other channels were huge. So I would advise to push it as many places as possible. I know Annika was featuring it on the account page as well, which I think is really strong to get people to come back and make further referrals and kind of track how they're doing as well. So the more places, the better.
Definitely. And Carl, what are Animal Friends doing?
So their most effective touch point is the order confirmation, so when someone purchases their policy. But they're also doing a link to referral in all of their marketing emails, and they also have kind of semi-regular, so maybe once every 2 or 3 months, a solus email that's dedicated to referral that goes out. So those touch points are really good. We're also planning on doing some more on-site promotion as well.
Great. Great. And obviously Simon is going to talk about this in his next session, but Ed, do you have anything to add just in our approach to promoting the referral?
Yeah, I think the most important thing I think is to find where your customers are and where they're engaged. So in the case of retail, the post-purchase space is a really obvious one. They're in a happy place. They've just made their purchase and they're really excited about it. But in other cases, like in banking or finance, like you don't tend to buy a new bank account or sign up for a new bank account every week or every month. And so finding another opportunity where you can promote. So a good example for us is OVO Energy. When you're interacting with OVO, you might be looking at your bills, you might be submitting a meter reading, and so they promote it in-app because that's the most effective place for them to promote. And so it's all about try and find the right place, and we can help you with suggestions, and you can help us with like your recommendations and your understanding of how your customers interact, and we'll find that right match.
Great.
I think a key place that I always wanted to try as well was having a mailer actually in the physical box that's sent to the customer, because I think that's a really powerful moment of them opening it, seeing the product, being really happy, and then there's a card in there to talk about it. So,
definitely. And like the other good thing with that is obviously you can have like a URL on there that's linking to a landing page or that's pushing into a landing page, but you can just, it's a reminder to say, don't forget you can refer using your name, which is just another nice trigger in the customer's mind. So back to the A/B testing, how important has that ability to A/B test been? And kind of what have you been hoping to learn? And
I think it's been really important for us. I mean, in terms of where we are as a company, GLL are about 5 years behind retail, to be honest. So actually bringing in A/B testing and that mentality has just been important to prove that it's worth us doing, not just with Mention Me, but with the website itself. So it's been really worth it, and also to see what the customer wants as well, and moving the business towards a more customer-centric point of view. So it's been really, really good in that sense.
Great. Hannah, in your experience?
Yeah, so I think incentive is probably the most powerful thing you can play with, but even having the ability to try different imagery, so we would do a model image versus a product image, or different wording. We split test having quite short, sharp wording versus long wording, and everyone had a theory on which was going to be the winner, and it was always different opinions. So it is really valuable to have that data there to give you the answer, and you're constantly tweaking things to get to a better program. I think what's really useful about working with your client success manager is they've got all this experience of other brands that they've worked with before, so they will literally come to you with this big long list of these are all the potential things we could do.
Yeah.
And you can work together to see what's feasible for your business, what you want to prioritise, and kind of just get going on it. So yeah, it's fun as well to kind of place some bets internally.
It's good to love your job.
Yeah.
So, Carl, obviously, as Hannah just suggested, we're obviously going to come to our clients with suggestions of A/B tests that we think are going to work well. But how often are you actually sort of surprised by those outcomes?
Yeah, so often I'm wrong, so I know. It's always really, really important to have the data to back up like a theory, and so that A/B testing is really, really crucial. For Animal Friends, it's been really important actually for the A/B testing. So as I mentioned, we've played around with designs, different imagery, and so actually some of the insights that we're gaining from referral are actually being fed back into their marketing team and for other parts of their business as well. So it's really valuable for them.
Yeah. Right, we've got a really nice meaty one to finish on. No pressure. What do you know now that you'd wish you'd known when you'd started referral? Hannah, I'll throw that to you first.
I think that word of mouth piece, the fact that it's still, even though so many things are digitised these days, that the actual word of mouth is still the most powerful. It has been at the brands I've worked with, and it looks like it is at Matches as well, which is incredible. And I think that's one of the main USPs of the tool, that you can work around that. So yeah, I think that was the main thing.
Bex?
I would say word of mouth, and also because we run leisure centres across the country, a lot of our customer facing are front of house, so they get asked questions about Mention Me. So what we did was create an FAQs, and we sent it around the business so they could answer those questions, or else it's because it's a centralised thing, so we needed to make sure that we communicated out what we were doing and how we were doing it so they could answer all those questions. So I think that was something we learnt along the way, was actually we needed to pull something together so that our staff could answer what we were actually doing and what it meant.
Great. As well as some of the nuances in Northern Ireland, of course.
There are lots of nuances. It's
Great.
complicated, but it is good fun. It's good fun.